Game 1, Fnatic vs G2. The finals that was played over in Athens. Was quite a good one, because it's very rare we get finals that go to 5 games. Well, then Blade works. Sounds like you need to be a top laner. We begin with the draft, as always. As everybody knows, we begin with the draft. I'm just gonna fast forward a bit until it's finished up. Jack's last pick. So, here, G2 took a lot of gambles. It took a lot of gambles with the first pick Pyke. Now, this was a big one. So first pick Pyke, the only reason they're doing first pick Pyke is because they're assuming that Fnatic doesn't play Sylas. Akali Sylas is the rotation. All of a sudden, G2 don't have that good of a pick into Akali, because they just didn't expect Sylas to be picked in the jungle. This was something that Rox hasn't played, and in the game that they played it, it didn't really look like he had played it, because he really didn't do nothing. He didn't really do anything. Gragas was something that was very high prior. We know that Rockstar likes it. We know that Jankos likes it. Gragas is good in such a way because you can never go wrong with picking Gragas. He's good at every part of the game. Predator is pretty broken. He doesn't fall off. He has a good early game clear. He can hide his clear. He can solo clear. He can pressure on level 3. He's very healthy. It's strong in many ways. I'm just going to message my brother that I have to call him back later. See another. Okay. So where were we? Oh, Roxa with Sylas. Gragas, we spoke about Gragas. Kled third pick was very wild. So the thought process behind picking Kled is that, Fnatic don't have that many good picks into it. Best one maybe, I don't know, GP. I think GP matchup probably is playable. I think if Kled snowballs, he probably can win hard. Renekton is a bad one that we saw in the previous series. And even though Fnatic played Jax in the regular season against Aatrox, maybe the thought process is that Kled can maybe win early or something like this, but Jax is definitely considered a counter into Kled. So I think the Shen ban was definitely just a risk that they didn't need to take. Shen was whatever, I think. They banned Thresh because they expected this to be the pick into their Pyke. Even that matchup I think is good for Pyke. And then Hiri-san dropped the Leona. I think Pyke into Leona is definitely playable. Maybe Xayah Leona makes it a bit harder because you can actually one-shot Pyke. But Leona is a decent pick into Pyke. But it's not that great into Lucian, right? So I think Lucian Pyke is definitely playable into Xayah Leona. The worst part here is more the fact that they are picking LeBlanc. And this game, Caps decided to not play TP, and LeBlanc just doesn't win against Akali 1v1 ever, honestly. It's a 1v2 matchup, and knowing that enemy is Xayah Leona into Pyke Lucian, you know that these matchups are going to require a lot of attention. Kled Jax as well. So Kled is on a timer against Jax. Bottom, Xayah Leona are going to want to perma all in. And mid lane with LeBlanc, LeBlanc, Akali, like maybe LeBlanc Lee Sin is viable into Akali, but LeBlanc Gragas, I'm not so sure. Akali can even itemize Mercury. It's not that great. What would you pick instead of the LeBlanc? This is definitely a Corki game, but this is something Fnatic could ban second wave. I think Corki definitely is a better pick. Corki is still a good matchup into Akali. If Corki is even lucky with Klepto, then the matchup is kind of unwinnable for Akali. You'll have some windows, but I think Corki is much better than LeBlanc. It's just not rewarding at all to play LeBlanc in this game. Especially after they see Leona Zaya, like it's so hard to play LeBlanc versus this. And then I don't know, maybe LeBlanc can do something to Jackson's side later, but I doubt that too. I think LB is good because Chain now reveals her in Shroud, but it really doesn't matter if you reveal her or not, you're going to lose the 1v1 regardless. LeBlanc's problem in this matchup was never to Q her or E her or W her. Like, it's still really hard to hit Chain, and you're going to naturally lose this matchup. It's just not a good matchup. There's a reason people don't play it. It's a strictly 1v2 matchup, meaning that you're waiting for your jungler and you need to play on the fake pressure. And in this game, the big problem is that Lucian Pike versus Leonia Zaya, Kled and Jax matchup is going to be very, very dynamic already, so you can't assume that Gragas is going to have time to go into mid. And then the bans, these are exactly the bans that we saw in the previous series. An adaptation here is to ban Yuumi on blue, because, I mean, ban Rakan on blue, because probably they don't want to try to pick Yuumi into Zaya Rakan. Zaya Rakan of Fnatic is it's a really tough one. Okay, if bottom lane and top lane is very passive and not that explosive, then definitely LeBlanc Lee Sin could do some damage to an Akali. But like this, I don't know, I don't like it too much. Nevertheless, we continue. So the reason you don't want to pick Pyke into a Sylas player is because he's gonna have Pyke ult. But that factor was really irrelevant this game. The biggest one was in bottom lane. The biggest issue we had. Let me just full size. Let me just full size. Let me put myself there. Goodbye, Mickey. Sorry, dude. Okay. So here I'm interested. We see the cleanse on Lucian. Sylas. Let's see if he got leash. I don't remember if he got leash or not. Looks like he didn't get leash. Didn't get leash. He's going to do 3 camps into base. Not that big of a fan. Oh, mistake. Pressed the wrong button. Sylas, so the difference between Sylas and Gragas is Sylas is going to be solo HP after it's clear. Gragas is solo clearing now, and he's going to be healthy. It's unbelievably OP. Gragas is so good because you have so many options, and unless you try to pressure him on level 2, level 1 evade him or something like this, then, you know, you can keep the enemy quite clueless. Gragas is completely fine with full clearing. He's completely fine with doing 3 camps into base, into predator. The amount of different pathings you can pull off with Gragas is nuts. And that variety is what makes Gragas so strong. And sure, there are a lot of champions with variety. For example, like you can play Elise or Rek'Sai in a very in a way that brings you variety, or Zinzao. But Gragas doesn't fall off. That's so crazy. Gragas just doesn't fall off. Excuse me. Okay. So already bottom level 1, we see some trades. Reckless already used a potion. That's quite a big deal. So early on in the lane phase, Mickey now is Mickey and Lucian here is contesting for the push. G2 bot lane is getting level 2 first here, and you can see that the moment they get level 2 here, that if you look at the minimap here, is that Zaya instantly burns flash. She burned flash as a response to Pyke E, because Pyke E he can E flash, and then if Zaya doesn't preemptively flash, they can one-shot her. Because he's gonna land Q for free, Lucian combo, and then ignite, and she's gonna die. She's running no heal here. No heal, no cleanse, no barrier. She's going to die even with heal most of the time. So Zaya is preemptively flashing here. But now the difficult part is that here, as this last creep is dying, Pyke is not respecting this, meaning Mickey is not respecting this. He has no E on here, and then he's hooking the Leona. Leona procs Aftershock. Aftershock is on, he's not gonna die. And then this is a very, very simple and easy kill. I think if maybe even you can respond to this earlier. There's an auto. Reckless walk backwards, but he doesn't need to go backwards, and Mickey dies and uses a sweeper as well. So this right here is a big disaster because Lucian doesn't have TP. Reckless has TP on the Xayah. He can come, TP back to lane, have an advantage, but everything gets kind of saved because Reckless manages to die twice in a very short amount of time. First we have this situation. Jankos now with the 3 camp into bottom. This is something that's predictable, but still tough to deal with. Here Perks played it well. He's faking, cleanse, and then Reckless. No flash on the Xayah. They know about this. They pick up the free kill. This is a big reason why I don't like the Sylas, because you can't really adapt to the situation. Gragas simply did 3 camp clear and can walk into bottom. He's healthy. He has a lot of options in his jungle. So I really don't like Sylas jungle. Sylas jungle here was just a takeaway. And on top of that, Broxah is not good at Sylas jungle. Do you have a YouTube channel where you upload your VOD reviews? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Everything's going to be up. If you miss it or you want to go and grab a biscuit, everything that you might miss is going to be either on the Twitch channel or it's going to be on YouTube. So all good, all good. Excuse me, my voice is kind of weak today. I don't know how much talking I can do, but we will try to hang in there. So Gragas adapts. It's tough for Fnatic's bot lane because they kind of have to gamble here. They have maybe the potential to like, it's a fine gamble considering their situation. Like here, if they don't pressure the Lucian, what's really gonna happen? I think if they don't pressure the Lucian, Pyke's gonna come back and it's gonna be a problem as well. They're kind of in trouble, honestly. Okay. And now is where the disaster just completely gets out of control. Because he TPs on this. And then he just fucking dies. So a situation that could have been a big CS advantage for Fnatic just became a disaster. Because Reckless died twice. Both top lanes TP. I don't know what the wave situation is on top. It's impossible to see. I think both top lanes get away with 1 kill, if I'm correct. And then Kled gets a red buff. And then now, after all this action, this is the time where Sylas decides to show up. That kind of is a meh situation. And then now the wave position is very bad for Xayah. Lucian's going to catch all this, and the TP is not existent. And then Lucian, the fact that he's going to have cleanse up, is going to be more value than TP being gone. I don't remember exactly what happened in this game to make it complete boom for G2. Kled's wave position was quite bad. I guess the payoff is that he has a kill. He's going to be behind an XP here for sure. Jax was allowed to push in the wave bottom. He got XP from that. And he's going to catch a big wave on top. Not a problem. Because the Caps doesn't have TP. He has 2 corrupting potions, so it should be okay. Honestly, I don't know the intricate details of this matchup, how it plays out back and forth, but I know on good authority that Akali wins 1v1. Jankos is looking if he can dive top on this big wave, but it's just impossible. It's not a thing unless LeBlanc can commit to this. But LeBlanc has no TP. Like, imagine a situation where LeBlanc has TP here. Then she can look to punish the top wave, and it can be a game-winning situation. But instead, you know, LeBlanc no TP. They can't dive to Jax. Jax catches a lot of creeps, and the Kled red buff is not going to matter too much. So here, look at this. Kled is level 4, and Wipo gets level 5 here. Level 5, boom. And he has this big wave to catch. So this is already very problematic for the Jax Kled matchup. Very, very problematic. Akali keeps TP. That's something that Nemesis like to do a lot. He likes to keep TP and then you spread pressure on the map. He misses. They have a small window here where there's no cleanse on Lucian. Gragas once again has a lot of options in terms of how he wants to path. Predator is a nasty thing. There's a pink ward that is placed. Both junglers should not be aware of their position. Because Gragas had all jungle camps open and used this timer to go into top. So right now they don't know Gragas' position. And I think diving bottom is a possibility. Should be a possibility. You know, I watch these games, but I don't remember shit. Just the unique part with Leona, Zaya, and Silas that even if you dive and you have less numbers, Leona is so fucking tanky if she starts diving. She's super fed because she has so many kills. And they can definitely just one-shot either Lucian or Pyke. So I respect this. I believe LeBlanc was freezing the wave. Does Hilisan go? Predator on? They don't go. But that's one full plate and one wave missed for G2 bot lane. G2 played this very well. Very patiently, they are managing to get pressure with less numbers. They managed to push out Hilisan, and this is at the cost of one wave in mid as well. Maybe it's better for LeBlanc to just hit, because G2 bot lane was fine. LeBlanc was looking for the punish on Akali as she's going to face check back into mid. But I think the safer play was just to get one plating there for LeBlanc to get value. Top matchup should be super difficult. I think Jack should win from this point onwards in the game. He plays good. Unless, of course, he gets ganked, he dies, and does something like this. G2 bot lane leave the wave in a poor position, but they have a BF sword timer here, and Fnatic is unfreezing. Gragas in the bush. Doesn't get spotted. Flash on Zaya. Hilisan is... Ooh, nice smite. Holy, holy, holy. Look at that. Look at this smite. Janko is smurfing, man. Sure, we've seen a lot of mechanics where, like, Lee smite Q, you know, it's not too fancy, but here he's smiting for someone else. That's super cool. That's super, super cool. Agos finds a kill. Agos was a monster this series. I think Agos definitely outclassed in the jungle position. Alright. The biggest problem still is the Jax matchup on top. Lucian and Pyke need to snowball way harder. They need to keep snowballing. We have to see what the Reckless buys when he goes into base. I assume he's going to have a very similar base to what happened on bottom. Here Whippo uses E under the tower, so Wunder of course goes for a trade here. What is the mistake here, Wunder? Do you just keep ult? Because you kind of point blank ult. Does your ult do anything? Then now Bippo has E on. Maybe it just can't kill. Like after he ward jumps, he doesn't really have any way of catching up to him. But I guess Wunder is just ulting because he's going to get dismounted, he believes. Like here he ults because he thinks he's going to get dismounted. And maybe he would get dismounted if he let this auto of Jax go off before he ulted. Maybe that's the reasoning. Guess maybe he should just ult now for the mini stun. And then keep E. And then hit, and then E. And then when he ward jumps, he E's again. Why do you think Riot is nerfing Aatrox when he's the weakest top laner pre-level 8-9? Well, Aatrox is like one of the strongest laners in the game before this patch. He was unbelievably OP in lane. Like you can win any lane with Aatrox. So very few lanes that Aatrox would lose, even against ranged champions. Like AD Nico could be really hard. Okay, I think probably just ult first. Ult first, keep E, and then you can stay on him, and you can keep punching him with your 2 Doran's blades, and then you can go. Wunder ulted now because he's about to get dismounted, and then now he's gone, I guess. He's just gone. Jax is getting E back up, he uses Corrupting Potion, he has Time Warp Tonic, then he gets a kill. And then now top lane matchup is even more over than before. He had to just flash. He had to flash or he plays on passive, but I think Akali and Sylas can kill him through passive. Too much AoE damage. Bottom Gragas gank. Let's silence this timer to take blue. But they don't know about Sylas' position. Hello, Moga. This Leona finishes super item so fucking early, it's crazy. I look at the wards that are there on Raptor, 2 pinks into bottom side. It emphasizes Fnatic is just going to play hard into bottom at all costs here. Jax, he doesn't base here. I'm not sure why he doesn't base. Predator is on. I guess Gragas cancels him. He got greedy to push back the wave. Not greedy. You should probably always push out the wave there. Man, this is wild. No mana for E. He's dead. Honestly, like, I think pushing in that wave, I would take the decision every time. This doesn't impact top matchup at all. He loses less CS like this, he's going to TP top. Like, if he lets the wave freeze and then Gragas is there, it's just as bad. Maybe he can keep TP and walk to lane or something like this, but honestly, dying like that doesn't matter. He got solo kill on Kled, and then he had to take this gamble to push out wave. Because even, you know, even though sometimes you die to ganks, giving information about Gragas is also a big deal. It's just about comparing the two decisions. Is it better for Bippo to not push and leave the wave to be frozen and lose a shit ton of CS because he has to respect Gragas, or he takes the gamble here where he can push in, and in some cases this is a very small margin that Jankos gets to cancel him. But on top of that, I don't even think Jankos can one-shot him here. So I think this is just wild. Really, really wild. But look how OP Gragas is. He fucking almost one-shot Silas. Imagine he doesn't throw his ult. He doesn't throw his ult here, and Brox is fucking one-shotted. How balanced is this champ? And then they got to dive on Jax. Honestly, I respect it. I respect Jack's decision here. And then, we get cut into a kill on bot. But Leona Xayah with BF can one-shot Pyke. But Pyke flashed here, so I don't know what happened. After killing on Pyke, they're looking for dive. They can dive Lucian regardless of the position of Gragas. So they're just going, even though they don't know Gragas' position. Akali roaming into bot 2, hovering. LeBlanc should have prior at this point because she has Luden's Echo into nothing. That's a flash. And that's Hirisan that is dead. They waited so long, no? Like they had to dive when the wave crashes. Because if they wait any longer, look at Pyke, he's fucking so fast. So fast across the map. And then now they're safe again. Honestly, the way Perks played this game is really, really good. Based off of the baits. Considering the bait early onto Xayah, Gragas' position, he's faking it super, super well, and Fnatic is taking the bait every time. And then now the timing was perfect for Mickey. The timing earlier was perfect for Gragas. Perks played this game super, super good, even though they lost. Good stopwatch. Xayah die. Leona die. I attribute this to Fnatic not diving right away. They could have punished maybe some CS or just use the situation to base. That's fine too. And then go and continue. Caps is looking for Nemesis. Ignite is ticking. Holy. Okay. It's crazy that there was so many back and forths this game. Post 10-minute swap. Bottom wave. Lucian had to base and Gragas pushed it in. So Lucian just goes straight top. Bottom wave is it frozen? I don't know what's going on with bottom wave. Who cares? This move here, the timing swap, is something that Fnatic died to many, many times, and was a big weakness of theirs. G2 just managed to pick up a free kill almost every time, and the people wasn't respecting the timer of Lucian walking into top, or vice versa. I think this was a very easy way for G2 to get value almost every game, where they straight up just swapped top AD, go through lane, get a kill on Bwipo, and then secure Rift Herald. I think they did this maybe 3 or 4 out of 5 games. That's definitely a point to emphasize here on. How do you anticipate AD coming top? Well, after 10 minutes before AD shows on bottom wave, you have to just respect it. AD carries miss, that's what it is, right? And then bottom wave can tell a lot about it. Usually if enemy AD is already losing CS on bot, they're going to walk into top. Meaning if the wave is frozen for the enemy, means that it's going to take more time for them to push into bottom, and it's going to be like a good opportunity for the enemy to swap. That's like the easiest way. But in competitive play, post 10 minutes, unless the wave is super, super bad and Xayah's already bottom and hitting the tower, like let's say Xayah's bottom and hitting the tower, and Lucian is walking top and he has no TP, this is going to be very bad. So this time I was okay, considering they killed Xayah, Lucian base went straight top, his tempo was alright. But most of the time, 10 to 14 minutes, it's going to be harder for you if you don't have TP. Because here, Lucian was ahead on tempo, right? He just killed Jax, and then Xayah showed up on bottom wave. Xayah kills the wave fast. Xayah has TP, so she has that luxury to go on to bottom. Zaya doesn't have TP, then she's out of position here. And G2 is going to get Rift Herald, they're going to tempo the top tower, Jax is dead, Kled is going to defend bottom, and it's a disaster. So here, just having TP on AD is just really OP. If they don't have TP on AD here, it's a disaster, the game position. Kled is going to defend bot, as I said, and G2 will outrace them. Nemesis TP, I don't know if he has Gunblade here. Maybe he has Gunblade. I believe he has Gunblade. He should have Gunblade, no? Perks, not in position, no cleanse, and I think G2 were just not anticipating this. Because they have the right numbers here on the map. LeBlanc has pry home to, from mid and can move into here, but the double TP and Perks getting caught off position kills him, and Helisang plays it well, where there's no risk for him to get away. Good kill here, use of TP, and Fnatic got the best of all worlds. They managed to push him bottom, got an extra plate, Zaya base, and she has a big CS advantage now from all the dives and all the plays that have happened. Jax goes into bottom. Here Nemesis just can't take aggressive path. No one's showing on top wave. This is super risky. Very unnecessary. But it's very, very good play from G2 because they know they have to sack bottom, sack top. They're not showing on mid wave, they're not hitting tower, so Akali doesn't need to do anything. Like here Fnatic's position is just better because they're getting more value already. Here G2 has a choice, either they freeze out Akali, they push mid and hit, or they push top, defend top. They are not showing anywhere, so this should be predictable. A lot of freaking money here. There's a 1.5k lead on Zaya. It's a very, very big deal. Reckless is very happy to be fed in a finals best of 5. I think is one of the most reliable AD carries in the world when they are fed to take it home in a European final. Okay. So first and foremost, so this is a problem. This just doesn't work. Honestly, Leona Zaya hard counter LeBlanc. It's just, how do you do anything? You can never W in. Never ever. At least all LeBlanc, you know, you QR and you QRE and you can one-shot someone, but the current LeBlanc, you need to W damage to do anything. At least if you're not super fed. And doing that against Zaya Leona is just fucking impossible. Wow, that scared me. Uriel Copy Elite, thank you so much for joining the gang. Gang, buzz. Thank you so much. Much love. Looking at the state of the game, Akali no TP, LeBlanc no TP. Now, the analysis is mostly focused on all these fucking small micro situations, but I think it also highlights how rough the draft is. I think this LeBlanc is really not good into enemy. Doesn't matter how good LeBlanc you are, I think it's just really fucking hard to play. Jax on Trinity Force. Kled should lose. Split. Kled maybe can win against Akali. Maybe that's a window of opportunity for them where they send LeBlanc into Jax and maybe he can poke him down. Lisan getting hooked. Pulled. Lisan looks to be fine here, I believe. Hard to walk through all the Zaya feathers. Zaya is a monster fed. People leaving the bot wave. Okay, I don't know what that minimap was for, but imagine it's 9 kills for Fnatic and Silas is 0 and 1. That's like crazy how how little impact the Silas had on the game. What's problematic later is that Jax is gonna win split. Lucian Pike is gonna lose mid prio against Zaya Leona. How do you really play the game? It's there's no option. Here G2 needs to respect a bit more because Kled is catching, LeBlanc is showing on bot wave, Akali is nowhere to be seen. But maybe even without Akali, maybe they just fucking straight up die here. Because Leon is just too powerful, Pike can never really fish. Holy moly, Spliffy Mac Jingles! Spliffy Mac Jingles, welcome to the gang. You Aram and hope for the best. But honestly, yeah, almost. It's lost in draft, I think. Lost in draft and then like some slip-ups here and there. Like G2 managed to do a lot. Jankos managed to do a shit ton in this game. Even though it should be kind of doomed after what has happened. And then the TP play on top was really big. Like Zaya TPing top and pushing bot, and she was just ahead after this play. They managed to break top tower, they killed Lucian. Akali traded her life for it, but easy worth. I want to see here why Fnatic are losing bot tower here without gaining anything in return. Okay, so why did Fnatic bot lane not base after they kill? So here, this is base timer, no? Right now base, keep tempo. Lucian has blue on, and then after they don't base, they stay for next midwave prio, and they can't really contest it. Fnatic use flash on Zaya, and they are forced to base. After this, Gragas Lucian go into bottom because Zaya Leona didn't base. Maybe they're saving money. He should be able to afford rapid fire or whatever the fuck he wants to buy, static shiv or rapid fire. Lucian Gragas get one mid pay prio, they hover into bottom, they threaten dive on Jax. Jax is giving up and they lose a tower. I think Zaya Leona needed to base. I know the memes around grabs drafting, but this one was truly very bad. Well, you know, honestly, if you have players like Caps, Perks, Mickey, Jankos, Wunder, this is not, like, in no shape or form is coach always the person that decides the whole draft or makes the whole draft and decides what everyone plays. I'm pretty sure all these strong personalities have a lot of input in what they're playing, and they're not going to play something they don't want to play. This is not something that you just blame the coach on. These are players with very strong and powerful and good opinions. I know from experience working with them. Bottom tower gone. This is what happens when you lose tempo against a team like G2. 3k gold in the lead still. Okay, what the hell happened here? Jax almost fucking one-shotted, man. Look at that BF doing work. Us. Honestly, Bwipo, if you wait, maybe you can kill. Okay, Mickey playing with fire. Ilsang using prio. Get another one. Still don't know. Not sure if Kled wins Akali at this point or not. One has Ninja Tabi, one has no Magic Mantle. One has a finished item, one doesn't. I really don't know who wins. But I imagine Akali win. Nice balanced pie skin there. Every time G2 is just pushing out and walking, it becomes a risk. But G2 are doing a very good job macro-wise to always find opportunities to contest midwave at the right time. Whenever Fnatic is basing, they find windows to put down vision and make it harder for Fnatic to win the game. I think this is something a lot of teams struggle with, and this is something Vitality struggle with, you know? The moment we are losing split and we're losing mid prior, we don't know how to look for those opportunities. But here, the moment they get to push out the sides, the moment Caps gets to push outside, they're rotating into mid, using these timers to build vision and to slow down the advancement of Fnatic. Do you think Spear of Sojin needs a nerf for Renekton and Jax? I think Spear of Sojin just needs to be removed from the game. Like, how do you really balance an item like this? It's a really, really bad design. It is an earth item. Like, you turn the game into earth. Like, how do you really balance this? There's no way to balance this. Once again, Fnatic is very late on tempo. Because here, Fnatic is starting to recall the moment that Akali pushes out and Jax is doing golems instead of pushing the top wave. But Jax maybe is waiting for the timer of Xayah. Xayah doesn't use TP to come back into the lane. Bottom wave was left in not such a good position. G2 is just running it down, okay. Don't know how much I like this Xayah base. Because I think she should just insta-TP back. Insta-TP back, keep mid tower alive. And now after Jax push this wave, I guess maybe the reasoning for why he did golems before pushing the wave is to make the next wave crash on his side of the map. So he loses less. Where he did golems, then now I just think Xayah should have TP'd. Xayah should have TP'd. You know what's funny? Cap's doing impressions of Yamato's deep voice. When does that happen? Reckless keeping TP for late game. Keeping TP for late game. Oh! Okay. G2 disengage. Top wave. Fight cocktail. Bot wave Cled's catching. Fnatic will secure a dragon for free. Mickey getting engaged on. Mickey. Okay. That's the mid tower going down. They managed to save the mid tower, so it's I guess it's cool that Xayah kept TP. What is Hylissang doing here, man? What is he fake pressuring here? There's no fake pressure. It's just being a maniac. Holy. I don't think Jungles needs to flash. Well, it's cool. Oof. Look at that. Look at that. It's the EQ, boys. So as you cancel your Q with E. This is for someone. Yeah, it's funny that in the chat I'm reading, oh, Mickey X really missed every skill shot in first 4 games, and then he pulls this shit off, man. Look at that. For those who don't know, it's basically you cancel your Q with your E, and then the hook direction is a bit harder to aim, and it's just absolutely fucking beautiful, man. This is the good stuff. Okay, so after they killed, Lucian gets spotted on a ward. He's basing on a ward. This was the biggest mistake that Perks did all series. He kept basing in Honolulu. You know, he was basing in really, really bad spots. And then here it starts. He's basing on a ward. He's basing on a ward. No, no, no. No, no, no. Oh, Long Johnson. Oh, blows. I like how they're updating the Yanko skill tracker here. Oh, Perks died? Let's blame Yankos. Let's give him the kill credit. Because that is fucked up. Okay. So here, it's pretty stupid, you know, because maybe G2 could make it even harder for them to win. Isaiah has 3 items. They're finding picks here and there. This kill that led into this kill made it super easy for Fnatic to win the game. Because something that we saw in other games was Fnatic was struggling to do Nashor on red side. To be fair, in those situations they didn't have much engage, and this time they have Leona. So maybe Leona could pull something off. All things considered, these 2 kills here made it super, super easy. But then again, you know, LeBlanc, just playing LeBlanc against Zaya Leona is blows, man. Just blows. And that's a Nash. And usually most of the time if you get Nash, game is over. Friday when they get Nash, they accelerate very, very well. Most of the time. As silly as it might sound, I think in a lot of situations in this game, G2 played better. G2 played much better. Wonder fucked up on the 1v1 on top. Okay. Wave situation was really bad for him. On the TP situation, Jax caught a lot of CS. LeBlanc in mid with no TP. I disagree with this because the Ignite did nothing for the matchup. And it didn't improve on anything. I honestly think draft was just really shit. Draft was just really trash. Because Fnatic didn't do anything super amazing this game. The only amazing part of what Fnatic did was that they managed to keep killing with Zaya Leona, and they got some kills onto Mickey. They caught him many, many times. This was a problem for Mickey. Mickey legit won lane level 1 because they managed to get the push. They burned Zaya Flash. If they played patiently, the game was won. Or the lane was won. Instead, he threw away, got caught, died. It was a bit of a cocktail. Hasan got super fed. I guess the most fed Leon I've ever seen. Do you love G2 more than Vitality? No. I guess I'm very hyped on G2, but you know, when I'm in off season, I start to become. The off season allows me to become more of a fan of the game. you know, and G2 play at the highest level, you know. They play at the highest level, and that excites me, you know. It really does. And in the past it was SKT, in the past it was other teams, and it's not about dedication or love, it's just about the game, you know. Relax a little? How do you mean? You want me to relax? I'm pretty relaxed. What do you think about G2 at Worlds? Do you think that we have a real chance of seeing a European team as champion? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think they have pretty good chances, but with the way they played against Fnatic, probably not. They need to get better. And I know they are capable of being better. And Mickey promised me that they're going to get better. Yamato, I just wanted to tell you, I think you have a great personal brand, and I was really excited to see you on the desk at finals. Thank you very much, RL. Do you have any plans to continue branching out with your experiences beyond coaching? Honestly, I'm the type of person, I get many wild ideas about what I want to do, and that makes it tricky. So I don't know. It's like I have many ideas for what I want to do, but it's I get overexcited. You know, my big problem is that I want to do too many things at once, and then my focus becomes a bit lacking. Do you think changing players when things don't go as good as expected is a good solution, or is it better to try to keep working with them? It depends if you feel like there's potential there or not. Sometimes some players need a different solution. Sometimes you'll have a better result with switching. It's not something that you can make a blanket statement on, because both might be, you know, both might be right. You know, depends on the dynamic. Do you think Bjergsen needs to leave TSM? Maybe. I think he could become a much better player on other teams than TSM. Bjergsen is still a fantastic mid laner, and I think for a lot of players, turning the page might be a big improvement for yourself, because you might see the things you took for granted, and you might see the things that have held you down. You might see the things that have been so deeply rooted into your routine that maybe you can start to improve yourself in a way that you couldn't really see or imagine before. So I truly believe Bjergsen could be much better on a different team. I think he can learn much more on a different team about himself and from others, because it seems like TSM always run into the same issues. I missed that game where Perks was farming on the Reckless turret. Well, this is, you know, many of these games, honestly, Mickey was trolling. And when you're support trolls, then you can't really do much in lane as an AD. And even this game, I think Perks played really, really well. Perks played really fucking good this game. Let's continue with the review. Okay, G2's chilling on a pink ward. Who cares about this game, honestly? This game is lost. This game is lost. Leona's so fucking tanky, man. Look at Leona tank. Tanking up. All that damage. And Kled dies. Does Kled die? No, it does not. Oh, it does. He should die. I believe he dies. Okay. FF, yeah. FF. Fnatic is such a different team when they are actually... when Hilly is playing something that can engage. Look how confidently he face checks the right bushes and goes. This is honestly a good attempt. Game is boom. It's a good attempt. Maybe he can one-shot. But yeah, if he doesn't, he's gonna look like a troll. You know, the first series they were banning Jax the entire time, but this game they decided not to. They banned Shen second wave instead. Let's use Koki. Caps was dead. Japs. Nashor is off. Anyway, let's go next. Yeah. Okay. That was game one. Nemesis played TF and Koki for most of his game. Why we didn't see a single Koki game? But we got to play Akali every single game. Akali is pretty busted. What about Nemesis laning versus Caps? It was good. I think Broxa showed up a mid a bit more often than Jankos, but Jankos got more value, so you can't really complain about his decision making. Nemesis laning phase seemed fine against Caps, but like how do you really punish? Like he's playing Akali every single game. It's hard to punish. It's a very safe champion in terms of laning. It's a very OP champion. He's playing Sylas Akali matchup, and unless Sylas can go perma aggro, he's going to lose this matchup. That's just how it is. And I don't think Caps had a lot of space to do so. And he had some misplays here and there. LeBlanc was troll pick, but then afterwards, you know, I think Caps was just way better in team fights because Nemesis was monster fed on Akali in many of these games and he did absolutely fucking nothing in fights. And I think that's a big problem for Fnatic coming into Worlds. Like it was really like really bad, honestly. Borderline shit. But that's something that we're going to see more in the future games that we're going to review now. Let's continue on to game 2.